Hey Toronto, it's Chris with Geektropolis, back once again for your Geekend update for the weekend of August the 15th. It is a big one this weekend, and it's not even Fan Expo weekend, so strap yourself in and get ready for this weekend's Geekend update. On Friday, Fandom Musicals has their launch party extravaganza. They'll be screening their latest musical, Star Explorers, which was staged at Con Bravo earlier this month, actually last month in July. And they're also celebrating the release of the soundtrack, and the event is hosted by Dr. Holocaust. All weekend starting on Thursday and concluding on Saturday. For 3 nights, it's Sail in Cinema. The Toronto Port Authority presents the world's first two-sided floating movie screen experience. They have a double-sided screen on a barge in Lake Ontario. You can see it from land, or you can roll up in a boat, or float up in a boat. Yeah. And check out movie screenings. They have a great lineup. Thursday, Jaws. Friday is Jurassic Park. And Saturday is E.T., the Extraterrestrial. A couple of details that you probably want to know. Pre-show, a really big pre-show. Pre-show entertainment starts at 6 p.m. and the films actually start at around 8:45, dusk. If you're going to float on up in your boat, you do not need a ticket, but if you want to be on land and view this from Sugar Beach, go to their site, sailincinema.ca, and pick up tickets. They are free, but you do need to reserve yourself some tickets and then get there early to get the best seats. Starting on Thursday and running until the 20th, TikTok Tom presents Anatomy. His words, metal lungs, bleeding metal hearts, an assortment of metal figures. Come see. Looks pretty cool. Check out the image there. If that strikes your fancy, head by the Ben Navi Gallery, 1107 Queen East.
So this is an art thing?
It is an art thing, but if you see this picture, you understand why I chose to talk about this.
That way? Okay.
That one.
Okay, I see it. It's nice.
I don't know how to introduce it. Axe throwing. Like darts, but not. They provide the axes and the instruction, and you battle it out for the top spot. The winner takes home their very own wood-burned hatchet. It's a beginner event, and you don't need to be a Viking, but it sure would help. Tickets are $40. Check out their Facebook page for more details. It looked like the spots were really limited, so if you want to chuck some axes, go do that.
Can you split a ticket? Maybe. No.
If you put it on the target, yes, but you'd already have redeemed it, so it's too late. Tassels and tabletop. Burlesque, board games, and booze. Also plenty of alliteration. This is on Friday, the Monarch Tavern, Clinton and College. Nerd Girl Burlesque presents a variety of talent with performances inspired by some trading and collectible card games. So I guess Magic the Gathering, L5R, I don't know. Stay after the show as always for the board game social with stars of the performances, so you can actually hang around and game with the girls after. Sounds pretty rad. And all weekend long at George Brown College School of ESL, it is LAN Nation. It is a LAN party convention, including panels, guest speakers, workshops, a 24-hour LAN party, and there are also tournaments with $5,000 in cash and prizes. 2 premier tournaments, StarCraft 2 and Dota 2, as well as some community tournaments for League of Legends, Counter-Strike, and Hearthstone. Ticket prices vary depending on how many days and which tournaments that you want to join up for. Check out their page for more info. Starting on Friday the 15th and running until the 19th, Photographers Without Borders has their magazine launch and an art exhibit, which is free, showcasing inspirational images and stories of incredible people dedicated to making the world a better place. So yeah, pretty inspirational. If you're a photography geek, go check that one out. Happening at the Hernan and Audrey Gallery. Get your retro game on at Backspace on Friday, August 15th from 7 to 10 p.m. For $10, you can, it's like an all-you-can-eat of retro gaming, retro consoles, Genesis, SNES, N64, PlayStation 1, all your childhood favorites, $10. Play.
Do they have the Neo Geo?
They don't say that they have the Neo Geo.
I love the Neo Geo.
I honestly would love to go and play TurboGrafx 16.
Oh!
I'd like a little Blancs adventure. Yeah, and some Tailspin. That was a good one.
That was a good one. I missed that cartoon.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can find it, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Retro gaming, go do it. All you can eat. On Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m., follow the Yellow Brick Road to Songs in the Key of Oz at the Red Sandcastle Theatre in Leslieville. It is the 75th birthday of the film Wizard of Oz. And musical theater performers Joe Cascone and David Haynes will perform some of the many songs inspired by the classic film. Check that out. Starting this week and running until Labor Day, it is the Canadian National Exhibition, the CNE, the X. Now you might be thinking, what's so geeky about that? Well, aside from the science and horror stories in the food building, there are a couple things that we sussed out for you. There is the Mirage Acrobatic Show featuring cirque performers, trapeze artists, and aerialists. Pretty cool. That is at the Ricoh Coliseum, and it is going throughout the running of the X. Pyrotechnics, every night at 11 p.m. Things will blow up in the air, which is awesome.
Blowed up.
We love it. Blowed up real good.
Yeah.
And pop culture, let your fandom, I want to say let your freak flag fly, because that's typically that.
Sounds like it should say.
And it can be, but let your fandom flag fly. This is kind of cool. The Heritage Court Direct Energy Center, it's an exhibit that looks at the segments, or different segments of pop culture through the eyes of the fan. So it will have things like fan-made props, replicas, costumes, photography stories. Yeah, it's an ode to the fan of the genres. Pretty awesome, so check that out. And finally, Exploring Animation. It's a festival of all things animation, from CGI to hand-drawn, video, art, all sorts of great stuff happening at the Arts and Crafts and Hobbies Pavilion. Oh, and don't forget...
the air show.
What noise does it make? Yep. Pretty cool. They should have an air show where they fire missiles and blow things up.
Yes.
Like, not people or targets, but like, I mean targets, but not...
Yes. Yes.
Not aircraft with people.
No, you had me in missiles.
They should fire them. And it would be the same time as the fireworks. Saturday, August the 16th, Urban Capers presents A Murder at the ROM. A curator has been murdered and a trail of clues has been left behind. You don't collect items, but rather answers to fun and amusing trivia. So here's the bad news. It's sold out. But August 23rd and August 30th dates still are available. Tickets going quickly. It is not a ROM event, although it's at the ROM. So check out urbancapers.com for tickets. Site 3 Collaboratory presents 2 workshops this weekend. The first on Saturday is an introduction to 3D printing, where you can design and make something from nothing. And their second workshop on Sunday is CNC with Doug Speck, which is kind of the opposite, where you take a solid block of metal and use the computer to make something from within the something. Anyway, Site 3 Collaboratory, pretty cool group of guys, pretty cool space. Stay tuned, we're going to do a bit of a feature on them in the upcoming future. Every Saturday, the Graffiti in Toronto tour. They meet at the Hug Tree on Queen Street in front of the little open market. You know the one.
I know it.
I know it. What's actually a cool story about that, it went away. It was removed, and then somebody brought it back. There was a foam version of it, though.
Yes, there was.
Somebody made a replica of it.
And it hugged well.
Yeah.
It was a good, but it wasn't,
really good.
It wasn't like a wood one, but the foam was nice.
Yeah. So if you know what the Hug Tree is, and you definitely want to check this out, or if you're interested in graffiti at all, it is a 2-hour tour, a 2-hour tour around the back alleys of Toronto with some graffiti aficionados that will teach you all about the history and the different styles and all that cool stuff. It is $30, so check out their website for more information on that.
Do you think that $30 is to cover, you know, your gloves and your spray paint
and your respirator?
Respirators.
That'd be awesome.
Like tag some stuff.
Yeah. That'd be a good tour. Go drop some bombs, and then the next tour can be like, and this was by somebody who's never done it before. On Sunday, August 17th, it is Bloods and Suds Zombie Car Wash. This is the 5th annual Toronto Zombie Walk Car Wash. Festivities include raffles, t-shirts, t-shirt sales, silent auction, and a super soaker zombie blood wash-off thing, as well, of course, as having your car washed by zombies. This raises money to make sure that the Toronto Zombie Walk that happens in October remains free. So come and support them. Check that out. Nintendo Fans Unite 2. This is the sequel event to the first Nintendo Fans Unite. This is happening on Sunday at the Madison Avenue Pub. compete in all sorts of games like Smash Brothers 64 and Melee and Brawl and Mario Kart and Pokemon tournaments and F-Zero and GoldenEye. So much Nintendo goodness. Check that out. Should be fun. On Sunday, Skin City, that's right, like Sin City. Skin City, comic book burlesque, one night only, Red Herring Burlesque. These are the people that brought you Naked Girls Reading Sci-Fi last week. They present Frank Miller's Sin City, but with more skin. So check that out on Sunday at the Rivoli.
That was an artistic pause.
You like that?
I like that. It was good.
I was pretending there wasn't pausing. It was all on purpose.
Very nice.
Magic lovers rejoice this Sunday and every Sunday. Magic at the Cage, that is the Crimson Lounge at the Cage 292. It is a rotating host of magicians, wizards, maybe not actually wizards, I don't know if they go with that name, but illusionists and other practitioners of prestidigitation. It starts at 7 and you can go early for dinner, which is pretty cool, at 6 o'clock. So check out their site for a full listing of who will be performing.
What do you think they serve for dinner at a magic show?
Something that disappears quickly. This Sunday afternoon, the Elma Combo. Tidy up your unitard, freshen it, slap it on. Febreze it, and slap it on, because it's time for some Victory Commonwealth Wrestling. This is a family-friendly wrestling event. It's actually going to be filmed for Rogers Television, so it's going to go on the air, but you can be there in person and check out that Donnybrook, that dust-up, that wrestling. Be there. The next thing I'm going to tell you might shock you. It might blow your mind. It might make your stomach grumble. But on August the 17th, for free, at Jonathan Ashbridge Park, I know the buildup is insane, but it's worth it. Baconfest. I don't need to say anything else. It's Baconfest. August 17th. Go there. Jason Ashbridge Park. Bacon Fest. A festival of bacon. Cam, how do you feel about this?
Bacon!
Right. And now it's time for your rep report. Let's see what is playing at various rep cinemas around the city. Why did I sing that, Cam?
I don't know, but it was beautiful.
It's pretty good, so we're going to stick with it. You know why I sang it? It's because I'm excited. I rarely choose a favorite of anything. I choose like top favorites, like a group, and I don't put them in order. But if I really had to, I might put Ghostbusters as my all-time favorite film ever.
That's fair. Did you know that Ivan Reitman just opened a restaurant in the TIFF Lightbox that has filled with Hollywood memorabilia, like Ghostbusters stuff and stuff. Yeah.
When are we going?
Soon.
Okay, here we go. Definitely check that out. Oh, but if you want to see Ghostbusters, Summer Cinema in Fort York, which is a great place to catch a film outside, and it's free. That is on Monday, August the 18th. Ghostbusters, you know who you're gonna call. On August the 19th, check out Aliens at the Brentwood Library. I like this library.
So do I. I've actually seen pictures of it. This thing doesn't look like a library.
Oh, it looks like a...
It looks pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Whoever's running that library, or who has in charge of their theater movie program, because last week it was 2010.
Yep.
Now it's Aliens. So once again, Brentwood Library, and that is on Tuesday. At TIFF Lightbox, there's a collection of things showing. We got Frankenstein, the 1931 Boris Karloff classic. That's on Friday. Evil Dead 2 on Saturday. This one I hadn't heard of, but it caught my attention. Only Lovers Left Alive. It's a vampire film with Tom Hiddleston. That's right, Loki. So that's on Saturday.
That one looks really good, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and it looks phenomenal. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the trailer yet, so I'm excited. I'm going to do that after this. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That is actually outdoor, so it's put on by TIFF, but it's at David Picot Square, which is just down the street from the TIFF building. And that's on Wednesday. And then finally, to wrap up the week, on Thursday, Bride of Frankenstein. So there you go. The sequel.
That's pretty wild. I also want to do a shout out to David, my son. He's turning 2 this week, so I figured it would be a great thing to just say, hey David, happy 2 years, and I want to keep him on YouTube for posterity. So there you go.
There you go. He can look back at this when he's a full-fledged geek and be like, wow, I'm in your rep report. Woo-wee. All right, that was your Geekend update for the week of August the 15th. Well, weekend going into the week. Man, it was a busy one.
Yeah, you're telling me, like, You can't tell, but everyone at home is going to be able to tell. You started off being in light, and now it is practically pitch dark outside.
There you go. So if you want to watch it again, you can see that transition. Honestly, though, thank you for sticking with us. If you made it this far, now you know everything that's going on in the city. And you know what? If we miss something, or if you know something that's coming up next week that we want to talk about, or you think we should talk about, email us, tips@geektropolis.ca, and we would be happy to share that event. Also, if you went, you saw, you captured anything that we have talked about, send us your stories, send us your pictures, send us your media, and maybe we can feature that on the site. Until next time, I am Chris with Geektropolis, and we'll see you next week.
And I'm Cam.
Oh yeah, that's Cam on the cam.
Bye. Oh.
What?
Whoa.